Determined to make a better life for his pregnant wife, this man gets into a shady business with a shady man. When the walls come crumbling down, he's left clutching onto the life he once knew. In 2005, David works as a massage therapist in Miami. He hates how he has to massage old rich men and wishes he could do something else. He used up all his savings buying expensive bed sheets so he could resell them at a retirement home. Sadly, the retirement home manager refuses to spend a fortune on people who are soon about to pass on. David has a girlfriend, Iz, and she's noticed how unhappy he's been. Dave had attended college but quit after one semester, so he's not on good terms with his parents either. One day, David attends the funeral of a childhood friend. He's surprised to see his old friend Ephraim. The two reconnect and Ephraim shares what has been happening in his life. He worked as an arms dealer with his uncle, but he wants to relocate to Miami since the said uncle stole his money. Ephraim's carefree and bossy attitude impresses David as he longs to be like that. David visits Ephraim's new office called AEY Incorporated and is excited to see the man in action. Ephraim sells weapons on the internet, but he also supplies to the US government for the ongoing war in Iraq. He tells David that while major companies bid for big contracts, he also takes the small and ignored ones as those are worth millions. They are called war dogs as they profit from war without stepping a foot in it. At home, David learns that Iz is pregnant. This makes him so scared since he doesn't know whether he can afford to support a child. Ephraim encourages him to quit his massage job and come work with him. David is hesitant since he and Iz are against the war, but after some sweet words from his friend, he agrees. However, he tells Iz that his new job involves selling bed sheets to the army. Ephraim teaches David everything he needs to know about the business, including how to talk to Eastern European manufacturers and bid for contracts. A local businessman funds the company called Ralph. Ralph gets a 25% share of the profits, and he mainly supports Ephraim as he is Jewish and believes the company aims to protect Israel from the war. Ralph owns a string of laundry businesses in the area. One day, the two learn that they are being awarded a contract to transport several weapons to Iraq. The two are excited and quickly map up the details needed to ensure the mission is a success. However, a new rule in Italy forbids them from shipping weapons to Iraq. Captain Santos, who has placed the order, informs the duo about this. Ephraim comes up with the idea to send the weapons through Jordan and then to Iraq. David is having dinner with Iz and her friends when they warn her to be wary of Ephraim as he is the one who stole money from his uncle and not the other way around. Suddenly, Ephraim shows up and is hurt that he wasn't invited to the dinner party. David has to convince him that the party is Iz's, so she invited her friends, not his. Ephraim explains that their weapons have been confiscated in Jordan. Captain Santos also hears about this and calls the two, warning that if the weapons are not delivered, he will have them blacklisted. Iz overhears this bit and learns that David has been dealing with firearms. She's angry, but David doesn't have time to fix the situation as they must travel to Jordan. The two get to Jordan and bribe the locals to release the shipment. They succeed and are given a driver said to be the best smuggler in the country. The driver knows the border patrols and he bribes them with cigarettes, saying that is what they're smuggling. The patrols let them through and they travel through the night. In the morning, the driver stops by an abandoned gas station to refuel, but soon spots insurgents coming towards them. David is on a call with Iz, who understands why he got into the business but wants him to stop keeping secrets. He sees the insurgents too, and the group flees, with the driver chasing after the truck and refueling it in motion. For a minute, the truck is under heavy gunfire, but an American helicopter flies above the vehicles, scaring off the insurgents. The group reaches the army base and provides the weapons. Captain Santos is impressed that the trio survived the Triangle of Death. He pays them handsomely for the weapons and then has several soldiers escort them to the airport so they can leave safely. In the aftermath of this shipment, AEY Company makes so much money that Ralph invests more into it, allowing it to expand and hire new employees. This gives David enough time to spend with his wife and newborn daughter. He and Ephraim buy 2 neighboring apartments and Porsches. David feels fulfilled, but Ephraim becomes more unstable and untrustworthy. Soon, the duo learns that they have a chance at the Afghan deal. The US government needs 1 million rounds of AK-47 ammunition and will pay $300 million for it. This means that anyone who gets the deal makes a profit of $100 million. The two decide to see if this is a workable deal. They travel to Nevada to attend a convention where they will meet the most significant weapons manufacturers in the world. However, most of the big companies don't have enough rounds to meet the demand since there's a shortage. It would be hectic to communicate with many dealers, so the two decide to pass on the opportunity. David is drinking away his sorrows when legendary arms dealer Henry Girard approaches him. He claims to have enough ammunition to meet the need since Albania had built millions of weapons to defend itself from the US, but the attack never came. Now Henry knows he can get the weapons for cheap. Henry cannot bid on the contract as he is on the terrorist watch list. The duo travels to Albania to test the ammo and is driven by Bashkim. After confirming that the ammo is legit, the pair travels back home and bids on the contract. 5 months later, AEY Company wins the bid. David is reluctant to deal with Henry due to his reputation, but the money is too good to pass on. The company will be audited, so David and Ephraim cook the books. At the meeting, Ephraim is angry to learn that they could have made $50 million more from the deal. David tells Iz that he's traveling to Albania, but she's had enough of his lies and is going to her parents' house. Ephraim gives David a gold grenade as a token of appreciation for his hard work. In turn, David shows him a copy of the partner agreement he's drafted, as they have equal positions in the company. Ephraim signs the paper, but he doesn't seem excited about it. David reaches Albania and links up with Bashkim. Everything is ready and set to go, but David realized they got played and were sold Chinese ammunition. This is bad since there's an embargo regarding weapons from China. David calls Henry to tell him about the situation, but Henry says it's David's problem and that he should have checked the crates before buying them. Once again, Ephraim shows up with a solution to the problem. He suggests that they repack the weapons as the army wouldn't know their origin. The plan is successful and they use Enver and his packing company to do it for $100,000. On Christmas Day, David sees his daughter via video call as he's still in Albania. Soon, David gets a call from Ephraim, who wants to cut Henry off of the deal as he's getting 400% profit. David warns Ephraim against messing with Henry, but a few days later, David is kidnapped and beaten by Henry and his men for trying to get him out of the deal. David decides to travel back home, but on the way, he learns that Enver hasn't been paid and that Bashkim is missing. David apologizes to Iz for everything he's done and promises to quit and be a massage therapist again. However, Ephraim refuses to pay David his share, and David cannot do anything since the partnership contract has been destroyed. David returns to his massage work but is approached by Ralph, who wants to reconcile him with Ephraim. An argument ensues when Ephraim wants to pay David $200,000 as a severance package, but this is like an insult to David. David reveals everything the business has been up to, including how they lied to Ralph about being Jewish and only selling to the US. Later, David gets a call from a reporter about the fake ammunition. He's worried to learn that maybe their shady business is out there. He exits the house and meets Ephraim on the elevator. He reveals that he too got the call. David realizes that Ephraim never saw him as an equal, but as an employee. On the first floor, the two find the FBI waiting for them. They are arrested and David pleads guilty, so he's sentenced to 7 months of house arrest while Ephraim gets 4 years in a federal prison. It turns out that Enver made the call to the Pentagon when he wasn't paid, and the duo stopped taking his calls. The feds found Ralph, and in the meeting earlier, he was wearing a wire, which allowed the FBI to get all the information they needed to arrest David and Ephraim. After his house arrest, David returns to his massage job and is horrified to learn that his client is Henry. David asks Henry what happened to Bashkim, but Henry gives him a suitcase full of money. He thanks David for not ratting him out to the feds and wants him to keep the money so long as he doesn't ask any more questions.